Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, and I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're gonna be speaking on one of XXXTENTACION'S killers being released from Florida State.
Crazy, bro. That's crazy. Like, think about it, bro. What if somebody killed your brother or your son and they get out of jail? How would y'all feel? Like, how would y'all feel?
A prison. Quick pause, because this might actually help you out. If you've ever needed access to your money before payday, there's a paycheck advance is clearly my favorite. The QR code sign up step 90. One of the saddest deaths in hip hop was that of rising superstar XXXTentacion. Gunned down at only 20 years old in a robbery turned homicide, his autopsy report would detail his painful death. He was shot in the shoulder, the bullet piercing muscle, vessels, and his lung before settling in his chest. Another shot through his upper back at the base of his neck traveled down into his chest, and the fatal shot fired into the side of his neck, breaking a bone in his spine, breaking a rib, and destroying every muscle in between. He bled out eternally. The video of his murder, as well as him laying lifeless in his BMW, would be seen millions of times through social media. A family was shattered. His
Bro, like I said, knowing all that happened, how would y'all feel when the killer got out?
Fans were devastated, and a son was left never being able to know his father. The killers bragged, posting pictures and videos with the $50,000 they taken from.
Thing I've ever seen. Why do so many people do that when they do something? Like Pooh Shiesty and his dad. What? Who in their right mind rob somebody, famous by the way, and then post what they took from them on Instagram? What world are we living in, bro?
From him. They'd be arrested fast, sentenced one by one, and a Florida judge would deliver one of the coldest speeches, followed by a life sentence for the actual trigger man.
Quote right. You turned a robbery into a murder. And on that day, when you stood there and fired that weapon, you didn't just end one life. You effectively ended 5 lives, including your own. Like I just said, you need to understand that when we say life in Florida State Prison, that means life. It is necessarily without parole. Florida abolished parole.
And the crazy thing is, I don't even feel bad. Like, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying I wish jail on people, but people that do stuff like that, I do wish jail on them. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't tell me otherwise. Like I said, this was your brother, your sibling, your mom, your dad that got shot and killed. How would you feel? Would you not want the person that have killed them to be in jail for the rest of their life? Like, let's be truthful here.
As the song says, you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. You will spend the rest of your life in prison. From here, you will go and be placed in a cell that has a stainless steel slab that's attached to the wall. That's your bed. And next to it is a stainless steel sink and a stainless steel toilet. That's the furniture that you have in that cell. You'll spend every hour and every day and every week and every year of your life in that cell. And one day, they'll come and open up that cell in the morning and you'll have passed on. And only on that day will you have served your sentence.
Just weeks after launching our AI visibility toolkit, we tested ChatGPT with a simple question about,
well, one of his killers has just been released from Florida State Prison, and it wasn't in a body bag, it was on probation. Robert Allen was one of 4 responsible for the killing. He can be seen on surveillance video spotting the rapper inside of the motorsports store he was shopping at alongside his co-defendant Daedric Williams. Daedric would help plan the robbery, acting as the driver who blocked in X's car, preventing him from leaving the parking lot. Trayvon Newsom was one of the gunmen who approached X's vehicle, and Michael Boatwright was the shooter who killed X as Trayvon grabbed a bag of money as he was dying. While Robert Allen wasn't one of the two gunmen who confronted X, Florida law treats everyone involved in a violent felony as responsible, especially if someone is killed.
Damn.
Robert would be sentenced first after pleading guilty to second-degree murder and robbery with the gun. Part of his plea deal was to cooperate and testify.
I'm confused. How did he plead guilty to robbery of a gun but he didn't rob? He didn't do it though. He was just like an accomplice almost. Accomplice. So I wonder, do they try everybody the same base? Like they pretty much give everybody the same charges in Florida? That's what I'm asking. I don't know.
Against his three co-defendants, which he did.
Point them out and identify them in the courtroom as to who you're referring to that made some comments to you.
Second row. Yeah, do some.
Who's that in 205?
I can pull up.
Who's in states 8? 5 and 5?
Michael Boatwright and me.
Some people might say something about him that he's telling, snitching, whatever. You put me in that situation, I'm telling. 10 out of 10 times.
Was sentencing.
I'm not gonna be behind bars over somebody else.
Day for Robert Allen, the fourth suspect in the robbery and murder of rapper XXXTENTACION, who confessed to his role and implicated the other three who were convicted.
Please forgive me, I'm so sorry.
Robert Allen, the fourth man involved in rapper XXXTENTACION's murder and robbery, spoke during his sentencing hearing Wednesday, saying he was sorry while asking the judge to spare his life.
Today I plead to the court for my own life and not to be sent to state prison, because that would be a destiny.
Last summer, Allen pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and testified for the state. Judge Michael Hewson saying he's thought long and hard about Allen's sentence.
I do believe you are not the same person who I arraigned 5 years ago. I genuinely believe that you are sorry for what you have done and not merely sorry for yourself.
In exchange, he was sentenced to 7 years in prison with roughly 5 years credit for time in jail. So in all actuality, he'd only have to serve 2 years in prison. Because of the high-profile nature of this case, his locations would be filed in secrecy, meaning unlike every other inmate in Florida prisons, you could not find out what prison he was being held in. You couldn't find out his official entry date, and you can't actually know his official release. Robert Allen was now being protected by the state of Florida as a high-value witness. But it wasn't just 7 years he was sentenced to. It was a split sentence. 7 years in, with 20 to be served on probation, totaling out to 27 years under state control. Filings within the Broward County courts would show Robert was also granted permission for interstate travel, as he was now working towards getting his CDL and driving trucks across the country. As for the other convicted killers, all three took the case to trial, and all three were sentenced to die within Florida State Prison by means of a life sentence. They flaunted what was stolen, and the trigger man would even go as far as dissing X and his son from inside of prison, leading to fans contacting the facility and getting him placed in confinement. It's likely all three of these men will die inside of cages and concrete walls, while Robert Allen will remain protected by the state for the next 20 years as he moves on with his life. Now, there's a lot of ways to feel about this. This is a clear-cut situation of somebody.
It's not though, because see, one of them cooperated, he's doing his time. The other ones, they wanted to take it to trial, and that's what happened. You know, it's no other way. I don't have remorse for them because they chose to do that.
Cooperating, someone essentially snitching, and it works out for them. He got
Like
minimum.
I said, the one he had the least amount of actual He didn't pull a trigger. He didn't have no gun. I'm telling you, bro. I'm not gonna die in prison to not be labeled as a snitch. That's not gonna happen. I promise you.
Full time, the majority of his time was spent in the county jail. Minimal prison time. He's on 20 years of probation. I highly doubt that this kid's gonna violate in any way. And he's free. Becoming a truck driver, he's gonna be driving all over the US. With that type of job, he's not gonna be on social media. He's not gonna be seen. He's not gonna run into X-fans. People are gonna feel a lot of ways that he shouldn't have the freedom he has. But at the same time, he was a major component in putting away the other 3 people. The main one, Michael Boatwright, who fired the shots. I don't think any of them intended for this to be a homicide. But this dude was just a loose cannon, and you can tell by the way he was dissing X and his son from inside of prison, he's just fried.
Stupid, bro.
But the way they flaunted the money after knowing he was killed shows the same level of no remorse.
Exactly.
X was a rising superstar. This kid would have went far in life. And they killed him as he was shopping for whatever, jet skis, motorcycles, who knows, $50,000. They killed him. They didn't even get to spend the money. They just took pictures with the money. And now they have life sentences. And this was major when it happened. This hit home to a lot of people, even people that weren't fans. He got killed where he was from. He was from Broward County. And that's exactly where he got killed at. And he wasn't a street rapper. He wasn't a gangster rapper. He wasn't a shooter. He wasn't none of that. And to be honest, he has a friend named Tankhead who got sentenced to mad long in prison for a murder. And one can only wonder what's gonna happen when he comes across one of the 3 killers that still remain in Florida State Prison. But let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comment section. Do you agree with one of the killers getting released on probation? Do you feel that?
I feel like yes, because if he didn't pull the trigger, he was just kind of an accomplice, and he cooperated. He did what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I don't got no problems with that.